Hi, everyone. Welcome to special presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or,
Alf will not be seen tonight.
once in a while, somebody hits the lottery. The biggest lottery, bigger than, getting adopted for a cat, bigger than, actually winning the lottery as a person. No, it's when a web cartoonist gets their comic turned into a real show.
Yeah, that's
How
happened
this
what?
happens so infrequently that it's like a miracle.
Yeah, it's like happened what, 3 times? Maybe?
Yeah,
I think.
maybe. Let's see. I mean, there was there was Axe Cop, and there was Control Alt Delete. Is there anything else? Lackadaisy.
Right. And Control Alt Delete, I think, is probably a instance of he turned that into a cartoon himself, I think.
Oh, okay. So,
Um,
yeah, and a lot of these, are in fact just, you know, either they're the cartoonist putting in, the hardest nights and days while trying to keep up with their work, which often doesn't go through anyway, or it's the equivalent of getting your book published by a vanity press.
right, right.
So,
I mean, we did the Sabrina online radio play, as you recall.
yes,
So yeah, it's unusual. Like, I know that there's been a couple cases where it seemed like something might happen, like when there was the Least I Could Do Kickstarter to get that made into a series. I think I think did a couple other ones. There was, of course, Marry Me, which apparently started life as a webcomic before actually
right.
becoming a Jennifer Lopez film vehicle, which I'm sure someone saw. And yeah, other than that, I can't really think of very many web comics that have made the transition. Um, there's a lot of very popular ones, which surprisingly have not been picked up by
Yeah.
anyone in Hollywood because, I mean, I don't
It's
know.
what's weird is not that they made a is not that they made a oh shit, what's that even called that I just did one on that you weren't there for.
Was it a
It
web
looks like Foursquare, but it's not.
Foursquare, like a comic called Foursquare?
No, I mean the logo looks like for Homestuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
Homestuck.
it's not weird that they made a Homestuck cartoon. It's weird that they waited this long.
Yeah, the kids really like Homestuck, so it
Yep.
makes sense. But yeah, no, this is one that, like, it's got made into a legitimate cartoon by legitimate cartoon makers, I guess.
Yeah, legitimate animators, legitimate cartoon writers, like, say, Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty, who is the co-creator of this series with the original creator, Nathan Pyle. It's Strange Planet.
It is definitely a strange planet.
Yes.
Now, you probably have seen Strange Planet. It's not like a traditional web comic that appears on, say, Keen Spot or Keen Space or Drunk Duck or whatever other websites that they go to, where they used
No,
to
it's
put
part
web
of a sort
comics.
of new breed of Instagram webcomics.
Yes.
Instacomics, one might say.
Yeah, it's the kind of comic that you see it on your feed and you're like, relatable,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Another example of this, and one that I think I like even better, is Gator Days.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's the one about Christopher the little alligator.
Nope, I don't know this one.
Oh, you don't know that one? Oh,
No,
that
no.
one's really good. But also, what was what's that other one about the cat family? No littering or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, like Litterbox Comics or
Yeah,
something.
that's it. Letterbox
Yes, I
Comics,
have seen
and that
that
one
one.
is getting its own adaptation too. So,
I'm not surprised. Everybody wants to fuck the cat mom. you
yep,
know, the she's very popular. Yeah,
and
like,
she's the one who draws it too. So,
oh well, good for her. Yeah, so this new kind of comic, it's kind of interesting, I think, because one of the things about webcomics as a medium that I've always found kind of amusing about them is if you are a newspaper cartoonist, you just, your bit is you make, sensible chuckle. You want someone to chuckle, so you basically just do the every day the grind. Garfield's kicking Odie today, up again, like that, right? And that's the biz. A web cartoonist, 99% of them back in the early days of webcomics started out that way. They were just like, I'm going to make a newspaper comic, but on the internet. And at a certain point, they kind of started bristling because they found that form too constraining. And eventually they start doing like longer form stories just as a continuing comics. And this is like,
Yes, you
mhm.
may recall that they actually put a hat on the moment in the comic strip Short Packed.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the way of webcomics. And it's interesting, this new breed of Instacomics, because they are designed for, like, being on the feed, on the infinite scroll, and with the knowledge that nobody who reads the comic is going to go to your website and read through the archives the way that people did with old webcomics.
Right.
They are by necessity much more like their spiritual forebears, the newspaper comic. It's like a
Yes.
return to form, because they are like snapshots in time. You get the gag, and there's no real continuity. So,
And because they're in Instagram format, they're almost always square. They're very square comics.
yes. The four-panel structure, or sometimes just one, I guess.
Yep.
And Strange Planet is one of these comics. It's got real big. It got real big because it had a good concept that was easy to understand, and quite droll. Quite
Despite
droll.
being, despite using vocabulary words a lot of the time.
Yes. The premise is there is a strange planet where strange beings live, and they're so weird, but like actually what they do is they're just like us, right? They're just like us. They just
Yeah.
Except
They're
that they
literally talking about human things, but in abstracted terminology.
yeah, they literally like just it's they talk about what they're doing as they do it, like, in ways that are like, they talk about it very on the nose, right? In a way that,
Mm-hmm.
like, to make the absurdity of their behavior more apparent. Like, all the things that we do that are absurd, these aliens do, and they're cognizant of the absurdity of it all. So that's kind of
Yes.
the bit of Strange Planet. And
I mean, it's the bit of most alien things. I don't know
true.
about you. I'm sure, I was absolutely reminded of the Coneheads.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of the same vibe with Strange
Yes.
Planet.
I have a favorite Transformers comic where one of the Autobots is uh, taking part in a human campfire party, and they're demonstrating how they cook hot dogs over the fire. And he goes, "Intriguing, heat-tempered protein cylinders."
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Um, Now, I'll say this about Strange Planet, the comic strip. Um, I like it just fine when I've seen it.
Yeah, it's fine. I
It's
mean,
cute.
it
Yeah.
does. I think I would, if it were on the newspaper page,
Hmm.
I mean, it would easily be a marshmallow,
Right.
maybe not a toy.
Right. I think the only thing about it that I will criticize about Strange Planet is that I feel like, I don't know how long it's been going on, but I do kind of think that, like, Nathan
2019.
Pyle. Oh, sorry.
It's from 2019 is when it
Okay, so it's
started.
been going on about 7 years at this point. So, not surprisingly, I think if you read the more recent Strange Planet strips, Nathan Pyle looks like he may be again bristling against the form and hoping to and wanting to do something new and different, because there has been a subtle shift in uh, the this type of punchlines that you see in Strange Planet. Um, it used to be more like the aliens are doing something, that we do, but they're explaining it as they do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if they're giving each other a birthday present, they'll be like, "I'm giving you this package. There's something hidden inside it. I know what it is, but you don't, and I am entertained to see you open it and be excited by it." And the other one is like, "Oh, I'm going to destroy the wrapping paper," like that sort of thing. Um, Like they're basically narrating what they're doing. And
Right.
if you more recent ones, I think because he's kind of like, okay, people have want like it's they've become less about that and more just like the aliens describing things, but with like increasingly, uh, like long big words. You
Yes.
know, so
Of course, it should be noted these are not aliens. They're on their own planet. We're
true.
the aliens.
Yes, yes, they're beings, I believe, is what they call
Yes, they
themselves.
call themselves beings in this. Yes.
Yes. So they are. But like it'll be like so in this one instead they'll be like I am giving I instead of you know I present I can't think of I can't think of big smart words, but like they use
Yes.
real big complicated vocabulary, and they're really leaning more into that, which I feel like it's like that's not the joke isn't that they use funny words to describe the objects in their life. The joke should be that like that they're doing things that we do, but like
Yes.
they know that it's
It
silly.
is an abstraction of the absurdity of human
Yes, yeah,
existence, which comes across stranger when when you are an alien as opposed to a human.
yeah,
In fact,
exactly.
I do like the one where the parent is saying goodnight to the child and says, "Imagine pleasant nonsense."
Yeah, like that works. That works, right? If they said something like, I don't know, like I can't think of an example now, but like I feel like if they did that now, it would just be like, envision he would like Nathan Pye would pull out his thesaurus and look up the biggest synonym for imagine pleasant nonsense and just plug those words in, and that doesn't necessarily make the joke better. In fact, it may make it worse. But like I'm being a little churlish. I'm just saying that like I've noticed this trend in some of his more recent ones. So I feel like he's probably reaching the point where he is itching to do something a little different creatively, which may be why there's a cartoon series now, which is here to scratch that itch for him. He could do something a little bit different, same concept, but spun a little bit different because it's a different medium, and that is Strange Planet, and this
Pleasant
is an
planet. It is pleasant
it is
nonsense.
pleasant
Yes.
nonsense. It's Strange Planet, and it's an Apple TV original, and boy is
Yeah.
it an Apple TV original. Like
Yeah.
something about it, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is definitely an Apple TV original. That's
This is an Apple TV. I mean, because Apple TV basically does prestige stuff and Fraggle Rock
yeah. Um, yeah. So there's some overlap, but
and Peanuts.
and Peanuts. I gotta say that like this so Strange Planet, Apple TV original series Strange Planet. I don't know what do you think of Strange Planet? I guess.
Uh, Actually, it's kind of funny. I assigned. Did you watch all 3 episodes that I assigned to you?
Of course, I always do all my homework.
Of course, of course.
Why would you even
But
doubt that?
I mean, are you sure that one of them didn't change to the wrong Fantastic Four movie in between clicks?
Hey, it's not fun. It's not nice to make fun of me for being stupid. It's a real problem.
I find it pleasant, but the
Fair.
But okay, so the 3 episodes that we watched, the first 3 episodes of the show, of which there are 10 episodes, there's an interesting thing that happens. The first episode has has the interconnected lives of some people dealing with the vicissitudes of life. One of whom is a flight attendant. One of whom is actually 2 of whom are a couple who are dating, and the third is a band. And when the band loses one member, the dating couple find they have nothing more in common. Meanwhile, the flight attendant has gotten promoted and finds herself losing connection with the fellow employees she was close friends with. But then there's trouble on the plane, and she manages to stir the band, who was also on the plane, into calming everyone down by improvising a song and proving that they've still got the juice even without their most talented member. So from there, I thought that it was going to be like, okay, so is this going to be like the Twilight Zone, where it's like a bunch of interconnected stories, but we don't have any recurring characters? But I guess there are recurring characters after all, because the next two episodes were about the same location, as opposed to just being all over the place.
Right. Yeah. It's so we get a but we do get some recurring characters, and then I think we get new ones as well in every
Yes,
episode.
but
Um,
no one is named. That's the issue with this show. They must have to give them names while they're doing the animation, or it would be really complicated.
Yeah, no one is named, and they all basically look like they're all kind of like they all look like alien grays because
Yeah.
it's a strange planet, so they
Mm-hmm.
all look very similar. I'm not being racist when I say it. I'm just they look very similar. So
I
um,
couldn't help thinking that this must be really cheap to animate because they only had to design one alien body, and now they just swap out the clothes and maybe sometimes tattoos.
yeah, for real.
There are no fat aliens.
Nope.
They're all referred to as they them. So there's no explicit gender, just implied.
Right, right. They um some of
The
them
only
are
different bodies are the old people bodies.
yeah, they're a little wavy, so that's the one thing. There's also the fact that like I did not recognize a single name in the cast for this show.
Yeah.
A lot of double barreled names, a lot of double barreled names, and nothing wrong with that. But like, I just was like seeing all these completely unfamiliar names, and I was just like, oh, these are probably all like streamers and YouTube people that I've never heard of because I'm old. So all
Please
these
explain the
like,
phrase double-barreled names.
oh, sorry.
Please explain the phrase double-barreled names.
Oh, just like a lot of people with hyphenated names.
Oh, okay.
So, I assume, which made me just assume, like, these are probably like a bunch of millennials I've never heard of. And they all
Really? Is
have,
that a millennial thing?
I assume so. I'm
Mike,
just
you
making
have a
stuff up.
double-barreled name.
Oh, sorry, what?
You have a double-barreled name.
Yeah, but I'm also a millennial, so, technically. Um, but yeah, it's just like, they all have, so every voice actor in this has that kind of like that very kind of sedate mumblecore type voice that like young people have in cartoons. So I had which in addition to the fact that they're all like the same blue body type alien,
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I'm having a lot of trouble keeping track of who's who in this show. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
um, which yeah, this is a show where like I can't dislike it. Like there's nothing about it that was like that made me like turn me off. It was more just like it's very sedate. It's
Yeah.
it's
It's very gentle. There's, apart from occasional screaming.
yeah, it's very much like yes, I've just taken my quaaludes and I'm like I'm in the final scene of Soylent Green while I'm watching the video as I'm being like sedated. It's very like it's very nice, I guess. You know.
Hmm.
Um,
Actually, I'm not seeing a single double-barreled name in the credits.
oh really?
Yeah.
Maybe I invented that in my brain because like I thought
Well,
I saw
what
a
is
bunch.
interesting is that at least two of the main actors are Nigerian.
Oh, interesting. That might be why I've never heard of them. I'm not too
Yes.
familiar with the cinema of Nigeria. Wait, are they Nigerian, like Nigerian, like from Nollywood, or are they like?
Ethnically Nigerian, but
Oh,
let's see. We have Tunde Adebimpe, who was born into a Nigerian immigrant family in the United
oh,
States,
okay, all right.
and Demi. Okay, I'm probably gonna get this totally wrong. Edejuibe, Demi Edejuibe. Okay, who is a British-born American writer and comedian and social personality, born in London to Nigerian parents. So,
Okay, all right. Um,
int- Interesting. It does. I wonder if that is what one of the things that gives the show its distinctive sound.
Maybe. I wonder. I
I mean, I would not be able to pick up a Nigerian. I mean, but neither of them, lived in Nigeria long enough to pick up an accent. I mean, I don't think either of them have even been there, so I have no idea. What
Yeah.
do they pick up from their family that is echoing in this show?
I mean, I didn't really notice any accents in this show. It felt more just
No.
there's a very lilting cadence to the dialogue. It just
Yes.
feels very like it feels like a lullaby almost. And I
Tunde
mean,
Adebimpe is a cartoonist himself,
okay.
so that's pretty cool.
Nice. I mean, I feel like for this material, it is probably it's a good choice because it does have to have kind of a dry delivery, and this kind of works for that. I guess more to it. Like when I was watching it, I did kind of start being like, okay, this this joke is like wearing a little thin as an animated series.
Yes.
You know,
One thing I noticed very early on, you really want to have the subtitles on. If you didn't have the subtitles on, every joke would go right past you and be like, what the fuck is happening?
oh yeah, I didn't have the subtitles on. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, yeah. I didn't pick up a lot of the jokes. I just kind of assumed that it was like, like, oh, they're probably using big words here to describe something very like mundane and normal. But like, as long as I get the gist of what's happening, I'll assume I'm still on figuring it out. Um, I but like, yeah, um, it's yeah. I just kind of was like, yeah. The theme song is extremely like, I don't know, mumblecore. I think I'm not sure
Oh, yeah.
how to describe it. It was just
Maybe?
like, yeah, I was like, oh,
I listened to it 3 times and I don't really remember it. So
yeah, that
maybe is that a mumblecore thing?
I think so. Yeah, it's like, did it slough instantly off your brain? It's mumblecore. Well, yeah, it's also like we're on a planet slightly leaning. We're
Yep.
we're
Something. The
orbiting a
twilight's last
star. We're
gleaming.
looking for meaning, and it's like, well, that's not the most elegant rhyme, but like,
No.
yeah, that's fine. Nathan Pyle, possibly not the most gifted lyricist, but
Yeah.
I
Maybe he
guess
didn't write it. I
no,
don't
no,
know.
he did. It said he wrote it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He was probably too busy going to like pro life rallies to to write proper lyrics for his song.
Yeah,
Um,
he got into a little trouble for having made pro life sentiments earlier, but since then he has walked them back.
I mean, he
So,
knows where his bread is buttered. So,
yep.
um,
Are you saying he's lying?
yeah. Well, I'm just saying that, like, look, if he was like if he was pro life, right?
Uh-huh.
And what's more likely that he's like, oh, a bunch of people got mad at me for that sentiment? Is it more likely that when he's like, well, I just won't talk about it, or is it more likely that he's like, actually, you're right, killing babies is good? I mean, I feel like it's more likely he's just being quiet about it, which, I mean, whatever. I don't, I feel like in this day and age, I mean, I'm not surprised that, like, oh, he's a Christian guy and he's pro life. I mean, that's not exactly a shock. I mean, what
I
did
mean,
everyone think?
this is America after all.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, I can't believe my woke bae Nathan Pyle is pro life. And it's like, what do you expect, man? It's like not even, I mean,
Listen,
I,
wrong people outnumber right people. Always have.
yeah. I mean, I don't particularly care for pro lifers, but like, I mean, as far as I know, it's like, well, I mean, that's one of the less bad opinions a Christian could have in this country, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
suppose.
mean, it's
I
I mean,
mean,
it's definitely it's definitely better than being the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah. I mean, I'll say this: like, knowing that Nathan Pyle is a pro-life Christian, I am sure I would assume he probably has lots of terrible opinions that he's not sharing. But like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the now and just be like, hey, maybe he's fine. Maybe he's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna cancel him over something that I just imagined in my head.
yeah.
And yeah, it's to my knowledge, he's not like bankrolling Donald Trump
Yeah.
with his giant strange planet big bucks that he's getting. Um, But
I don't think he's making nearly as much money as Five Nights at Freddy's does. No.
no, he hasn't. Well, not until he gets all the
You don't become a
streamers.
cartoonist for the money.
No, he's got to get a bunch of like streamers to pretend to be scared of Strange Planet. Then he's going to make the big bucks.
Yes.
But
Ah,
anyway, so
butts,
yeah,
butts, blue butts. The Ray Sox.
yeah. So our first one, like you said, it was this kind of music, but there's also this flight attendant thing happening, and there's this couple that are breaking up, and
Yeah.
there's three plot lines going on, and
I don't know. I don't. I feel like one of them just kind of falls apart. The one about the couple.
yeah, how did that end? I guess they decided to get back together, I guess.
Yeah, they decided that that listen, it wasn't really about the music. It was about listening to it together.
Yeah. Which that whole plot line I was just kind of like, well, I was like, I guess this is an issue for young people, you know? Like as an old person, I hear like if I like, oh, our favorite band broke up, so we should break up too. I just think like, what? Why would you do that?
I
But
don't think that was ever a young person thing. I think this is a completely fabricated problem.
right. Well, what I'm
But
saying
then
is,
again,
yeah.
when I showed when I was a teenager and I showed my girlfriend my favorite comic and she didn't like it, she said, "I guess we're breaking up now, huh?" I was like, "No,
What
of
comic was it?
course not."
What comic was it?
Oh, Milk and Cheese.
Oh, she didn't like Milk and Cheese?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably should have broken up.
yeah. I mean, there are definitely some red flags that I didn't read there. But she did love Cowboy Wally, so
Yeah, oh, man, that's the thing. People contain multitudes, you
they
know.
really do.
It's hard to know. But like I just yeah, again, like I guess it's a sort of thing where if not necessarily a young person problem, it is a sort of thing that I expect when you are young and you have like incredibly strong feelings about stuff because that's what it is to be young. You might feel like, oh, this band that we both love breaking up is like catastrophic,
Yep.
like to me every day, as an old person, I'm at that point in my life where I have no like emotional reaction to anything. So like
Right.
I hear like, oh, like the guy who made your childhood magical just died. I'm like, meh. It
What
happens.
guy?
uh
What guy made your childhood magical?
Country Joe McDonald and the Fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he just died
okay.
yesterday.
Oh, okay. And the fish?
No, just Country Joe.
Oh, okay.
Though he didn't
But the
actually
fish
make
is
my
still
childhood
alive.
magical. He's the first celebrity I could think of that just recently died, and I kind of saw
Okay.
that and was like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, that is a name I've heard.
Yeah. So I could
To
Tom.
say it in a very strange planet way.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
a name of which I am familiar.
yeah.
Condolences.
You know him. He wrote the melody that what we all enjoyed. The one that ended Vietnam. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we fighting for?
that's right. It was a big hit. I think he did it at Woodstock. Very 60s. That was where
Yeah.
everyone was in the 60s.
Sure made my childhood magical 15 years before my birth.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm just saying is like things happen and part of, obviously part of it is just the numbness of this insane time we're living through. But also when you are older, your reactions to things tend to be a little more subdued because you understand, yeah, things happen. And it's not like when you're young and every single thing is like the end of the world. Now the literal end of the world is happening and we're all just kind of like, eh, eh,
Yeah.
eh.
Well, I mean, what way is there to panic that isn't trite? Huh?
Yeah, I know. It's like people are like, okay, yeah, people are all upset because, like, I guess like they're doing Armageddon, and I'm just like, so gauche. Um,
What? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Throw myself to death first?
yeah, it's like, what do you get? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it be. It's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do? It's like, yeah, things are bad, but I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
You still gotta cook. You still gotta clean. Laundry still needs to be done. Cat litter still needs to be taken out.
yeah,
Why should my cat suffer because my race is ruining the world?
yeah. I know. It's like there's all this stuff I'm supposed to be making phone calls about something. I think I'm supposed to be yelling at my senators about some new bad thing that they're doing, but I'm just kind of like, I just gotta scoop this cat litter. It's
Yep.
really, that's all I can do. I can't do stuff. I don't have the brain power. Plus, I'm like really bad with telephones. I hate that. I hate that you have to keep yelling at senators because I don't like using a telephone. It's weird. I don't like it. Because like I don't know I can't see the other person on their expression on the other end. So I don't know how they're reacting. Plus, I just don't like being negative to people on the phone. And now I have to call up and be like, please don't pass the kill puppies act. Hate that shit. Anyway,
You need to call somebody neurotypical to do it, please. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah, get them to do it. Get them. This whole thing was their
They love
idea.
doing that, apparently.
They love making phone
Someone
calls.
must.
Someone does. Well, I feel like everybody hates phone calls because we all stopped doing it the moment there was an alternative.
That's true, yeah. No. But we all thought the alternative was going to be video calls, but no, it was like, as soon as texting came along, I was like, what? Oh, well, this is so much better. And it leaves a virtual paper trail.
Yeah.
You can't record your phone calls. Well, I mean, you can, but it takes up way too much tape.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't mind when they had the video calls. That was an improvement. But now we have it's like living in Star Trek.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah. So I didn't really. So the first episode, like, yeah, I was kind of that plot line with those two breaking up was kind of like, oh, okay, sure. But
Okay,
then,
whatever, yeah.
yeah,
But I definitely felt more for the band because the whole theme of this band is that they play sad songs, and then their leader leaves the band because she's in love, and now she feels like she'd be faking being sad.
yeah.
So it's kind of like Kids in the Hall brain candy.
Oh yeah. it's
Deep cut, but if you remember what I'm talking about, it's like that.
Is it horse tranquilizers?
The yeah, yeah. There's no big music video where they all jump into a pie or anything like that. But
Oh
nor
yeah.
is there a moment with where's your father? Oh, he's upstairs masturbating to gay porn.
It's such a good movie though.
It really is, and it really sucks that they were all so tired of each other at that point.
Yeah. Well, it's like how they say that, like, it's like an extinction burst sort of thing where, like,
Yeah.
how before you go because I never cared for the Kids in the Hall as a comedy series. I thought they were a little too Canadian.
Really?
They
Huh.
just every time I watched it I was like, I don't get this. What is this? I don't understand. Why is it funny that, like, this guy crushes heads? I don't get it. you know but I did like but the movie I thought was hysterical. And so, good for them on that. I'm glad they did one good thing before they broke up. But the
But
movie was
yeah, so
less Canadian.
that must be what made you what made it more palatable for you, but that's also probably what made it feel like such a betrayal for the longtime fans.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess. Well, but they're probably all Canadian too. So what do they know?
It's like the difference between Mystery Science Theater and Mystery Science Theater the movie.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a very big vibe shift between those two things.
Yeah,
You can tell Mystery Science Theater movie was like, look, we need to make something for the normies. The jokes are a little more dumbed down in the movie.
yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah. Also, Dr. Forrester is like a little like he's. I mean, it's not terrible, but he's really hamming it up in the movie, like way more than in the series.
He's really making up for not having Frank. It really feels
Yeah.
like they wrote this around having Dr. Forrester and Frank, and then Frank was like, I'm leaving the show for whatever. I never found out why he left the show, actually.
Yeah, he went to go back to Arby's. Um, yeah, it really, like, Dr. Forrester. Yeah, he really needed a sidekick,
Yeah.
and so he was really
And they
not.
hadn't yet introduced Pearl. So,
Yeah, so
at least not as a sidekick.
no, the movie really came out at a weird time because it's not like, um, It's not, it's as a cultural artifact, it's interesting, but it definitely is a lesser effort than the
Yeah.
series, I feel.
You know what else is kind of like that? That made-for-TV Doctor Who movie.
Oh, I didn't know they made a TV movie for Doctor Who.
Yeah, they made a. There was an American-made Doctor Who movie with like the Doctor with the shortest tenure ever. He was only ever in this movie, and that was it.
Wow, an American-made Doctor Who movie. Um,
Yeah,
I, I I feel like that. I feel like that's just a betrayal right there.
yeah. I feel like that's one of the reasons that that one did not go to series.
Pretty much, I feel like any time that they make an American version of a British thing, it's not good. It's just, you know, like
Have you ever seen the American Red Dwarf?
I have. It's not
Oh
good.
my god,
It's
I
it,
haven't seen it.
it's really not good. Um, they have the guy who plays Crichton is in the American version too. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Is he still Crichton?
he's still Crichton. Like he's still
Okay.
the same. So he's not bad. But like everything else about it is just pretty just it's not funny. Like they really decided like what if we got rid of all the anything that made this series amusing. I think they also decided like to make the cat like a girl in the American one. Because I remember
Not the
that.
worst decision, but I mean that really changes the character dynamics a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Like it does kind of it's I think like I remember the British one, people saying that like they didn't want to do that because the whole point of the cat was like that like he's like he's very convinced he's very sexy, and they're like, yeah, but if you have like a sexy woman doing this bit, then
It's like
it's
if
not.
she's actually sexy, it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah. She's
But which is not to say that the cat himself was not sexy.
no,
But
no. I mean,
you know,
I think probably like the cat actually was the cat like I think Danny John Jules I think played the
Danny
cat.
John Jules, yes,
Yeah, like
you see him, singing on the corner in Little Shop of Horrors.
oh, I didn't realize he was in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he
and he's
is.
in Labyrinth too.
Oh wow, I did not know
He's
that
the
either.
one. He's the fiery that goes walk tall.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize that. No, he does an amazing job in Red Dwarf because I mean he actually is very sexy as the cat because as everyone knows, being sexy is all about attitude, and he
Mm-hmm.
really brings that forward. I think that in the American version they were like, what if we just got a girl with big tits though? I don't remember the actress' name, so I'm really kind of being mean to her. But like that was the thought behind making a lady cat, and I think that's really kind of it doesn't really. It's
Yeah, I
um,
understand. I understand.
yeah, but yeah, like that's the thing is when they make American versions of British stuff, they're like, what if we made it worse?
Yeah,
Because they did that with like The Office. They did that
yeah.
with
All in the
uh,
Family,
All in the Family. They did that with
Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son. Um, Probably other stuff
Um,
too. I think.
was there? I don't know. Was there an? There was never an American version of Neighbors, was there?
I don't think so. I do remember seeing a British version of Golden Girls once, which was
Wow,
very
interesting.
odd. Yeah, it was strange because you rarely see it
We've
go the
never
other
made.
direction.
Was never an American version of Thomas.
Oh, the tank engine?
Yeah, except for we did have our own homegrown show to feature him, Shining Time Station.
Yeah, which is I didn't realize at first. I thought was British because like Ringo Starr played Mr. Conductor for a while,
Yep.
and then he got replaced with like
George
George
Carlin.
Carlin, which was odd, and
Yeah,
then
and
Alec
then he got
Baldwin.
replaced with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, and of course there was a Shining Time Station movie, The Magic Railroad, which
Hmm.
I remember seeing in the theater with my brother.
Wow,
It
was
completely
he a big Thomas head?
well, I don't remember why I went to. We literally, I think, were like home for the summer and just like really bored, so we went to see it just because we thought it would be like a lark, and it was a completely empty theater. Uh, and the main thing that I remember about it was that Thomas is like there's a magic railroad, right? As indicated by the title. but there's also
Yes.
this evil train who wants to destroy it, even though destroying the Magic Railroad will cause the end of the world or something. It's very
Hmm.
strange. It's weird. It's a weird movie. Um, the main thing that I remember is that Alec Baldwin as Mr. Conductor has like a cool nephew in this one. Like, he's like got this cool hip nephew who like wears sunglasses and is like coming to visit his uncle Conductor for the summer. Like a very like Roy from The Simpsons type character. And so I remember that, and I remember that Mr. Conductor at one point says like to the audience, he like breaks the fourth wall, and he's like, "I'm gonna need your help on this one," to you in the audience, right? So and then later on in the movie, um, he like falls out of a window or something into a big pile of hay, and he just turns to the camera and he's like, "Did you put this hay here? Thank you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that was not what I was expecting, because I thought it would be one of those like we all have to clap to like save Tinkerbell type situations, but instead apparently we did something. We put hay
Everybody,
there.
if anybody has some hay, throw it. We'll make a big pile.
Yeah, if Thomas Tank Engine ever became like a Rocky Horror Picture Show type midnight showing where like people would just throw hay at the
Yeah.
screen, you know what? We should try and make that happen. That would be great.
Yes.
There's so many great potentials for midnight movies. Like I don't see anyone doing the Oogie Loves movie as a midnight showing. So much.
I was gonna say this movie really reminds me of the Oogie Loves.
Yeah. I feel like they should bring back the Oogie Loves, because
Yeah.
why the hell not? Um, okay.
What's stopping us?
Yeah. But anyway, Strange Planet. So that's the first episode. The second episode is about pets.
Yeah. It has a pet theme, but a number of other things, including this is where we establish the restaurant, which I didn't realize at first why it's called Careful Now. It's because it's a restaurant that's literally hanging off of a cliff with extremely rickety bolsters,
Yeah.
and
I
and
guess
it has a large birdhouse on top.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't quite clear on exactly what was going on here, because the concept is these aliens are just like us, but like more so. I was trying to figure out like, oh, is this like a thing that restaurants do, that are just hanging over cliffs that it's making fun of? I'm
Oh,
not really.
maybe it's like a revolving restaurant.
Maybe. I mean, I could think of. I mean, I know that there are some restaurants, I'm sure, like Nepenthe, that are like kind of hanging over a cliff. So I know such a thing exists in real life, but it's not like such a common thing that I would think it being a trope that would be lampooned by these beings doing it. But that's fine. That's a thing that's going on. So yeah, there's this restaurant. There's a being who is like the manager of the restaurant, and
Yeah,
this
she's the main character of both this and the next one.
yeah, and this being has like big, thick, kind of like Buddy Holly glasses,
Yeah,
and
and wears a bandana so you recognize her.
yes, and
Recognize
has
them. Sorry.
the boss who runs the restaurant is an old being who wears like a Gilligan hat. And honestly, like I was kind of like, okay, I mean, I I'm I spent a lot of this episode just being like, wait, so is that how you would dress if you were like a manager of a restaurant? I feel like that's not quite right, but okay. I don't know.
Well, in the third episode, somebody says you are an eccentric restaurant owner, and the manager says I could get even weirder.
Yeah. Um,
So they know what they're doing.
yes. But the second episode, yeah, it's pet themed because there's this random customer who has a crush on the manager, and
Because
because
the manager remembers that they don't like cilantro, or as they call it, soap leaf in the
yeah,
burrito.
yes, which
I
because the
appreciated that.
the manager is always like, it came out and was like, oh, I know you don't like soap leaf, and I remember being like, oh, I guess that must be a character that just showed up that I'm supposed to remember. All right. Um, But like the issue is the manager has wants to go home to look after her cat or her creature, I think they call it.
Yeah, Creech.
Um,
Yeah, what's funny about this is that it shows a big panorama. You know, a sort of short about the history of beings and their creatures, and they all have three eyes except the cat's.
yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, why doesn't the cat have three eyes?
It's a little strange. I'm not really sure.
It's a strange planet.
It is a strange planet. They do an interesting thing where they call the cat analogs vibrating creatures and the dog analogs moral creatures, which I
I don't
thought,
think of dogs as being moral. Maybe loyal creature would be better, but
yeah, like I think I mean the difference is like people always think of dogs as having like a more ethical core than a cat, but I mean,
maybe.
it's really just that it's a pack animal, so it will listen to you. Like if
But
you,
I've always felt more like the Freak Brothers strip where Fat Freddy is in a bar and everyone's talking about how much they love their dogs, and he says, "I like cats myself. Dogs are fascist."
yeah, no, I would
And
agree with that.
everyone protests, like, "How can you make such a broad accusation?" And he's like, "Well, think about it. When was the last time you saw a police cat?"
That's a good point. You know, I say a cat. All cats are beautiful.
Aw, it's true.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I'm not a. I mean, dogs are fine. If you're a dog person, that's fine. No shade. I just find them kind of. I find them kind of a little
Needy.
pathetic, a little needy. Like the way they're all like, "Oh, I want love," and it's like, "Oh God, I feel bad for you," But like with the cats, there's a dignity to them
Yeah.
where it's like, yeah, they want like pets, but like, they want attention, but like also they have a little bit of independence and they don't debase
Also,
themselves.
Also, I think it's more like, a cat will choose you. There isn't like a dog distribution agency
No,
the way there
no.
is for cats.
Yeah, I think the thing is with dog, people think dogs are moral because dogs will feel bad for stuff. Like if you yell at a dog, it will feel bad. It'll be like, "Oh, I did something wrong." Whereas if you yell at a cat, the cat will be like, What's your problem?" The cat's like, "What?" Um, they don't understand. They don't like understand shame the way a dog does.
I think it's just they don't have eyebrows the way a dog does, so they can't manipulate you. So you're like, "Oh, why did I make you sad? I'm sorry, Wuffles."
Yeah. I mean, I can tell when my cats are sad because they make that noise. They make the sad noise.
Yeah.
Ooh, that thing where they're kind of like, ooh. But, you know, usually, I don't know. Dogs are fine, but I'm just saying is like, I wouldn't say that they're more moral. I think it's always funny when people do that thing where they're like, oh, a dog has true loyalty, but like a cat would, if you died, your cat would eat your body immediately. And it's like, well, I'm dead, so who cares? I want my cats to survive. They have to eat my body. That's fine.
Yes.
But secondly, it's like, are you telling me that like, okay, a dog will eat its own shit and vomit, but won't eat my body. Whereas a cat, which is so finicky that like if you change its cat food, it would rather starve to death. But the cat will eat my body. You're telling me that? I don't believe this scenario for a second. But anyway. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Cats and dogs, they're fine. Whatever floats your boat. But like, yeah, this one, the restaurant guy, customer, basically when the restaurant manager has to stay and cover someone else's shift, this random customer is like, well, I'll go look after your asthmatic cat while you're uh stuck here. And so he goes, and there's some wacky shenanigans as he spills like wine on the cat. And
Yeah, spills wine on the cat and then compounds the problem until the cat is pink.
yes. And meanwhile, there's some other unrelated subplot about a kid who wants to adopt a raccoon. And, I guess they're neighbors of the manager for the restaurant.
Yeah, they live at the they live in the apartment across the street,
Yes.
and this kid who is This kid is 6 years old and has a single mom with like sparkly glam makeup for some reason,
Well, yeah, they needed to like differentiate them, you know.
without giving her a mom apron, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, all this happens. The manager is having a real hard time at the restaurant because they're really stressed. Ends up blowing up a cake or knocking down a cake. But this elderly
Yeah,
couple,
it's like a really elaborate cherries jubilee cake.
yeah, yeah,
But the couple who's having their 50th anniversary is delighted because it's just like what happened to the original cake on their wedding.
yeah, and they give the manager like knowledge that true love is in the chaos or something because it's easy to be in love when things are going right, but um,
Yep.
something I think embrace the chaos. I think is what they're saying. So that when they go home and they find out their cat is pink now, they're like, "Oh, this is great," um,
Yeah.
and
You know,
that's
man, it's not bad. It's not bad to have a pink cat.
yeah, that's kind of the episode.
Yeah. The kid doesn't and the kid doesn't end up adopting the raccoon as they are absolutely adamant on because they discover that the raccoon already has babies. So they're like, this raccoon can't be my roommate. It has its own smaller roommates.
Yeah, that is the thing about Strange Planet is that I guess it's very much like real life where plots happen and they kind of peter out. Like things
Yes.
don't really they kind of resolve themselves, which is a pretty normal sitcom thing, but resolve themselves in a way where afterwards you kind of forget that something happened.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
oh,
mean, it sure is convenient when something like that happens in real life. Like when somebody steals your cat and then it turns out your cat is fine.
yeah, whew, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I mean, what would but how would you feel if someone stained your cat pink?
If someone stained my cat pink, well, I mean, this is a cat who I guess it would depend on the cat, but the cat who lends herself most to being stained pink is one who really needs a bath anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
So if you stained my cat pink in your attempt to give her her long needed bath, then yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, it's all fine. I
Oh,
think.
I just noticed the songs are by Open Mike Eagle. That's cool.
Oh, is that who's that?
I know him. Yeah, he's cool.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know him personally, but I've heard his music before.
okay.
And of course, I've heard his music because there's one where where instead of sampling, he just sings like half of the Might Be Giant song at the end of his actual song.
Well, now I know why you know
Yes.
him. So there is a third episode, and
Yeah.
this one, uh, okay. I feel like
This one feels like it's like the start of a 2 or 3 parter, or it's starting. It seems to be starting a plot line that is going to be resolved in future episodes, at least.
I'm very confused about this one because it starts out like these two beings in a laundromat and they decide to go on a date, but then they go to the restaurant and one of them just gets a job at the restaurant and then it's on him.
Yeah, because they struck out with the other being.
Oh, is that what happened? Somehow
Yeah.
I completely like missed that.
Yeah, the other being is like big into astrology, and it was like, I can't be starting a relationship at this point because not this close to the Great Conjunction or whatever it was called.
Oh, that's right, because they're having like some sort of like an eclipse is happening.
Yeah, an eclipse with like, and they have like 2 moons, so it's not exactly Earth, but it's close enough.
Yeah. So yeah. So there is a they start one plot, but halfway through they decide let's do this other plot instead. So why not?
Yeah, so he gets a job, and meanwhile, the manager from the previous episode is struggling with their eccentric restaurant owner, demanding that they set up a new yearly attraction on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And their suggestion was to have a zip line, so you, I guess, I don't know if her intention was for you to be riding on the zip line as you eat, but
Yeah,
that doesn't.
I have to say that like I don't know. I don't know how well this whole concept translates to animated sitcom format. I think I mentioned that before because it does wear a little thin, but also the
Yeah.
fact that like, oh, we have this wacky, eccentric character who does crazy things. It's like, well, I mean, isn't the whole point of this series that everyone is does very normal things that seem
Yes.
strange to us when they're pointed out, but like this is kind of going against the grain of the idea. But I guess you kind of have to because otherwise you don't have anything happening. And you've already had,
Yeah. I mean, you can't have everyone be completely homogenous. You get
yeah,
you know.
you need a wacky character to make stuff happen, I guess.
I
And
mean, the way humor works is you know normal problem, normal solution, wacky outcome, or normal problem, wacky solution, wacky outcome, or normal problem, wacky solution, normal outcome. But you always got to have two, then one.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, this is. I just. I don't know. I found it just very difficult to like to keep track of what was going on in this show because
Yeah, I feel like this is what we were talking about earlier with. I don't even remember if we were on if we were recording at this point where we were talking about oh yeah, webcomics and get and chafing against the limits and trying to do something more with more of a narrative. It feels like they're developing a narrative here, but it's kind of falling with a thud in this third episode.
yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing that like if you give this series a chance, it may get have something. It's their this is like very first season Simpsons type stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
But
It's entirely possible that as Strange Planet goes on, if it gets a second season, which I haven't heard anything about, it could become something really special.
yeah,
Right now I am, in the at the end of the second no at the end of the first episode, I was like, oh boy, I can't believe I'm going to watch two more episodes of this. But by the end of the third one, I was kind of wanting to see what happened next. So maybe it's working.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to at this point. It is kind of hard from to gauge the direction. I think from just the first few episodes. Yeah, yeah. It could be something special. It could just be more of this same. I mean, unfortunately, we live in 2026, and it's not like this is a time when like we're gonna let series find their stride, especially not on Apple Originals. It's gonna be like if it's not like a smash bam hit, like immediately it's gonna be gone forever and probably deleted from all existence. And they will never speak of Nathan Pyle's name
Every
again.
streaming service has a slightly different approach to that. I mean, with Netflix, you're really lucky to get more than two seasons, but Disney Plus will, if you were to hit, they will delete you and they will not apologize.
No,
You know,
no. I mean,
when are we gonna get a DVD of your Willow series, huh?
man, when are we gonna get Dumbo Circus, huh? I just found out apparently that's lost media, and I feel like oh, I had that entire thing recorded on VHS.
You did
I did
Dumbo Circus?
Dumbo Circus, um, because I was such a huge fan of Dumbo Circus.
Wow, you're
No,
like Roy the Rooster. I
yeah,
can't believe it.
no, I actually wasn't a fan. I just for whatever reason when we lived overseas, like we were in kind of this weird tape exchange program with other
Mm.
Americans overseas, and we just would exchange VHSs, and we ended up with a bunch of VHSs with the complete run of Dumbo Circus. Which, for those of you who don't know what it is, it was a Disney Channel original series about Dumbo the elephant, except now he's a puppet and he has a circus. And
Yeah. Now, not like a hand puppet. This is an entirely full body puppets circus,
yes,
and he has, and also now he can talk, and also now everyone else in the circus is also an animal.
yeah, and I wouldn't say that it's good. It's fine. It's for kids, but it's more just interesting, I think, as a cultural relic of a particular time in Disney Channel history, where they were like, "Ah, shit, we have a whole channel. We got to fill 24 hours." Well, um, Dumbo Circus.
Dumbo Circus, yes. As And well, what's really notable about Dumbo Circus is that the creator, the power behind it, later went on to create Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, damn. Well, he real that's a real step up, I think.
Yeah, the original Teddy Ruxpin pilot is in fact done in Dumbo Circus style giant puppets before they went to animation.
Oh yeah, I think that sounds kind of familiar. Teddy Ruxpin is a very weird franchise.
Yeah, it's like what if your glowworm was actually Tolkien?
Yeah. I think like didn't they go like the second season? They were like, now we're gonna tell you the terrible secret of the I don't know the Ixnays or
The
whatever they
Leops?
are.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, there was. I have the whole series on DVD. In fact you were there. I bought it in Chico,
Oh damn, where'd you buy it up here?
a thrift store. We were just bopping around thrift stores in like mid 2010s something or other.
Simpler times. But yeah, so maybe a strange planet. Maybe it'd be as big as Teddy Ruxpin. Probably not.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Do you think that kids would buy Strange Planet merchandise?
I'm sure they
Would they
must be.
want talking dolls?
I feel like there must be Strange Planet merchandise. I mean, why wouldn't they make that,
Yeah.
right? They,
Well, look for Strange Planet figurines and T-shirts to appear at Miniso soon.
yeah. I know you can get wall calendars with Strange Planet, so,
Mm.
there's that at least. And, you know what? Good on Nathan Pyle. Get that bag.
Yeah,
Um,
for real. I
yeah.
mean, you can't be mad at a cartoonist for making money because in the world we live in, there is no longer any excuse for not getting that bag.
Yeah. So I hope that he negotiated a good contract that gave him a fat stack of cash for this series because I doubt there'll be a second season just because that's the way of the world these days.
Yep.
And yeah, I can't say that I was particularly like excited by the Strange Planet TV series. But
It's worse than I expected and better than I expected at the same time.
yeah, it's I mean I think it's a difficult thing to adapt. It's something that
Yeah,
seems
it's like having
easy.
a there's no real regular characters, so it's like if there was a Far Side series.
Yeah. It's kind of like the I was looking at it, I was like I feel like the easiest I mean the easiest way to adapt this that would have made this like series like kind of gel very quickly would be to just be like, oh, what if a human went to this planet and it was all about them trying to like adjust to strange planet
Yeah,
and
which is very easy because it's almost exactly like Earth, just
exactly, but
slightly estranged.
yeah, and it would be them just being like, wow, these aliens are sure weird, but in fact, they're all the things they do are what we do. And that would be a very quick and easy way to kind of make the concept gel as a cartoon series. I think it does, however, kind of do violence to the original idea, which is just that these are beings, not aliens, and they don't. This is not a sci-fi series. It's just a mirror of our reality.
Yeah,
So I can understand why they didn't go that route, and probably ultimately it allows the series to breathe a little more because they can explore more. They aren't kind of tied into this like, oh, we need a human character for like humans to actually like sympathize with.
it's like,
But
they're already human enough. That's the whole point of the
yeah,
series.
exactly. So I mean, I
It
guess
would be interesting if this whole thing about the eclipse resulted in like a spaceship coming down and an astronaut emerging. But
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that like if the series continued long enough, they would probably start doing stuff like that, because it'd just be like, well, let's get some Great Gazoo type shenanigans happening. But yeah,
that's a human. Watch out! They grant wishes.
yeah. But yeah, so Strange Planet.
Yep.
It's
Is it good? Is it bad? It's strange.
yeah, it is strange. We can say that
Yeah.
it's a planet, and it's a strange one.
Yep.
If you like
I
Apple
mean,
TV
my problem is
originals,
that it's strange, but it's not weird.
yeah, yeah. Um,
There's a reason he doesn't call himself Strange Al Yankovic.
Yeah, it's I think I prefer watching weird stuff,
Yeah, me too.
but
That's so. If Strange Planet got weirder, that's okay with me. But the thing about weirds, what makes something weird is that it's unpredictable. And the whole point of Strange Planet is that it's very predictable because it's about human nature.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could do worse if you're looking for a series to kill some time, but
Yeah,
you know,
especially if you're an Apple TV subscriber.
yeah, might as well watch
What else are you
something.
gonna watch besides Fraggle Rock and that Tetris movie?
Yeah. Oh, they actually made the Tetris movie, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's about the making of Tetris. It's not like the struggle of the line piece or anything like
Oh
that.
well, well, why not? Okay. I guess that is anything else we need to say about Strange Planet, or
Uh, uh, I would have a joke to close here, but I can't improvise that many big words at once.